You are watching the Midtable Up Podcast highlights. Please put your foot through that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, as well as Spotify and the Podcasts app.
Through the decline that I've seen. Great.
Actually, yeah, that is you did raise a good point there, actually, Simon, because there was a few people that I kind of thought actually I have met a lot of West Ham related people already. So I try, as I said, there's only already one on my list that I have met previously. So, and even then that was very brief. So that's good. All right, then moving on to our number 9s then, Simon. Who is your 9th place?
Okay, my 9th place is probably the most arrogant man, not just in football, but I think in the entire world. Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Ooh.
And I would love to meet him to find out if that is actually how he is.
I think it is.
I think it is, but I would love to know.
He revels in the...
I mean, just some of the stuff he comes out with is just fantastic.
Oh, it is brilliant.
I'd love to have the arrogance of that.
But, I mean, I'm going to say this. He's my number 5, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I mean, I feel like we might... Yeah, I feel like... I know we've done this a few times. I feel like if we mention anyone that's on anyone's list, we might as well discuss it all in one go then and there, so we don't have to harper back to it later on. But yeah, he's my number 5. And as you said, it would be really interesting to see, because I imagine that even interacting with fans and the media, I feel like you would never truly know whether his online or not his public persona is the same as his private persona. You would you would never really know that. Only he can really know. Only him and maybe his very close family.
I mean, it would be great if you met him and he was just like a really sensitive, like down to earth, chill guy.
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is.
I mean, I think you can be arrogant and be sensitive. I mean, down to earth, probably not. But
some of the stuff he comes out with, he's not sensitive. Like when I think, was it a reporter asked him like what he was getting his wife for his birthday? It's like, she doesn't need anything. She already has Zlatan. I'm like, come on, mate. Like, his wife's like a supermodel as well. Like, she's well out of his league.
But he wouldn't see it that way, though. He wouldn't think that she was out of his league.
But can you imagine if you walked into a bar with Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Like, it would just be amazing. Like, he would shut the place down, like, be like, yes, I'm the boss. And I reckon, like, everyone would...
He would thrive off of that, really, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and just being around him, I reckon you'd feel more confident. just by, like, osmosis.
Yeah. You'd want to put yourself on his level, really, wouldn't you? Or at least try to. But as far as, say, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is concerned, obviously... How much do you think his arrogant persona helps him in football? Like, how much do you think that contributes to what he does, and how much do you think it contributes to what he is capable of? Because you kind of think that, arrogance without necessarily being able to back it up is pretty crap, really, but obviously he can back it up. And do you feel like that arrogance almost fuels everything he does? Because it probably has to, doesn't it?
I definitely think that, and I have often said that I don't think England players are allowed to be arrogant enough.
What, because of the media?
Because of the media. We like our sportsmen to be humble and very good game. Yes, they were tough opposition. No, if you're better than them, say we're fucking better than them. Like, let's go out with the arrogance and the swagger, because you do automatically, as you say, you have to raise yourself to that level. You can't, if you're coming up with a big talking game, you've got to fucking back it up. Yeah. And I think you look at really top players, most of them have that swagger in different ways, because I think Messi has it, he's just not very public with it. Yeah. But you know that when it comes to game day, he's thinking, I'm a boss, I'm absolutely going to smash
the standard that he must set himself as well. Yeah. Lionel Messi, obviously mentioned.
But my point is, you look at, I just think English players, they're told to be very nice and controlled, and let's be respectful of everyone. No, let's go out with the mentality of we are a strong side and we are a good side. And it's always an issue, and it's not just football where English sport has this hang-up of like not having the arrogance.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a whole pod in itself, but I mean, I watch a lot of cricket, but the England white ball team are now the best team in the world, and they tell people routinely they're the best team in the world, and they back it up because now they kind of set that gauntlet for themselves, and they have to reach it, otherwise they look stupid. And I think that football can learn from that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
No, yeah, I think it's a really good point. Oh, sorry, George, were you going to say something?
No, go on, mate.
Oh no, yeah, I was just going to say, and I think there's, and I think you're totally right. It's a very unique thing in the UK. We hold the very high expectations and a lot of expectations on our, in particularly footballing representing players. So essentially English players or players that play for England. There's a massive expectation in the media from them. And I think, yeah, you're totally right.
Not just the expectation. I think the expectation is one thing. I think when you do have the golden generation of England coming through 15 years ago, I think when you do have those players, there should be a certain level of expectation in, not only in the media, but across the nation in general. That team was capable of winning things, and obviously...
Yeah, but I think the weird part of it is we all have the expectation within ourselves, but they're not allowed to physically express that expectation. Yeah. That's what I've always found baffling. So that golden generation going to World Cups, they weren't allowed to say we're going to win the World Cup. Why not? We are going to win the World Cup. Go with that expectation and go with that belief, and let the players say that if they believe they can. And they probably should have done because they were a great side, but...
No, 100%. 100% agree. I almost feel, and this is probably more football related than throughout the nation as a whole, but you look at, say, not only English players, but say the Premier League in general. Something that really kind of, I never really noticed it when I was younger because I wasn't really looking out for this kind of thing, but I almost feel like, obviously the Premier League is a brand, and obviously it's the most successful league in the world in terms of global appeal. And obviously the FA and the Premier League, they know that. And I almost feel like as a result, they, to a certain degree, they almost try and stop people from expressing their true personality. If you watch a post-match interview, if the manager says something, regardless of whether it's slagging off a referee or if he says something even remotely controversial, there's a good chance that he might get, if not fined for it, it will certainly be picked up in the media and they'll make a huge story of it. And it's mainly because, and again, you see, I feel like in this day and age as well, I feel like once you've seen one post-match interview with a man of the match or a player on the losing game, realistically, you've probably seen them all because they all probably follow that same sort of, oh yeah, well, we just needed to get the 3 points today and, we played well or we didn't play that well. And yeah, I feel like the system as a whole, at least as far as football is concerned, the media, it's a little bit different, but I feel like it's very restrictive in terms of people actually expressing themselves. And yeah, if somebody has scored a hat-trick in a game or, played an absolute blinder, I'd want them to stand there at the interview. And again, I know they can't really swear on TV or things, but basically say, yeah, I played fucking well today. I fucking bossed it. This is what I'm about. Keep watching, and this is what you'll keep getting. I would just kind of love to see that sort of personality or the individual's personality injected. And as I said, I feel like every interview, at least as far as football's concerned, more often than not, unless something really catches someone that rubs someone up the wrong way, I feel like nearly every interview in modern day football, whether it be a manager, a player or whatever, at least when they're talking to the official media outlets, it's very cookie cutter. It's very, it's very copy and paste kind of thing. There's not really a personality to it. And Ibrahimovic kind of is the exact polar opposite of that. Every time he opens his mouth, you're sat there thinking, he could say something spicy here, and you listen with everything.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from experience here on that post-match interview point, because obviously I've gone to a lot now, doing commentary and stuff, and as you say, after about 2 of them, I'm like, well, this is boring.
I bet.
Seen this, and I just leave now. There's no point sticking around. They literally just say the same shit, different day. we may have strayed off topic a little there. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, my number 9.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, no, as I said, I just think it was a good point to make, and I do think it was. You can relate that to Ibrahimovic because he's almost the polar opposite of that mentality, which is 100% why he's on my list at number 5 and probably why he's on yours at number 9, because you don't get enough of that in this day and age of football. So yeah, moving on then.
That's the final whistle. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Midtable and Up podcast. If you enjoy our top 10 lists, please make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Let us know what you would have done differently. If you watch this episode on YouTube, make sure to put your foot through that subscribe button and leave a like on the video, as well as follow us on Spotify, the podcast app, to keep up to date with the series. Thank you very much. See you next time.